In this video, we are going to discuss about super mesh analysis. Super mesh analysis is an advanced form of mesh analysis, mesh current analysis. So in order to get the concept of super mesh, let's consider this network. Here we can see that there is a common current source between these two mesh, that is mesh 1 and mesh 2. So under this case, what we are going to do is, we are removing this current source like this, and we will take this outer loop, and this outer loop is known as super mesh. So whenever a current source is present between two meshes, we remove the branch having the current source, then the remaining loop is known as super mesh. So this situation occurs when two loops or two meshes have a common current source between them. This point you need to remember. We know in the case of any simultaneous equation, in order to solve n variables, we need n equations. In the case of super mesh, the total number of equation is equal to number of meshes in super mesh. In this case, how many meshes are involved in super mesh? Two meshes are involved, mesh 1 and mesh 2. So total number of equation is 2. And also in super mesh analysis, we need to write only one KVL equation. So corresponding to super mesh, we need to write down one KVL equation. Remaining mesh current equations are obtained by applying KCL at super mesh. So before leaving this current source, we can apply KCL at this node. Then that equation is the other equation. So super mesh KVL equation is first one, and applying KCL at this node, that gives next equation. So total number of equation become 2. Let's see the method of super mesh analysis using a simple example. Here the question is, find current through 10 ohm resistor of the network shown below. Here, how many meshes are there? This is one mesh, this is another mesh, and this is another mesh. So totally 3 meshes are there. But there is a common current source having value 4 ampere, which is common to both mesh 2 and mesh 3. Mesh 2 and mesh 3 contains a common current source having value 4 ampere. So mesh 2 and mesh 3 forms a super mesh. Now how many equations are required? How many variables are there? 3 variables are there, I1, I2 and I3. In order to solve these 3 variables, we need 3 equations. So in mesh 1 there is no common current source, so we can apply KVL directly in mesh 1. And this super mesh, that is this part, there we need to apply KVL, and here we need to apply KCL in order to obtain the last equation. Let's see one by one. So first of all, we can apply KCL at this node in super mesh, this part. That is, this is a part of super mesh. At this node we are applying KCL. What is KCL? Kirchhoff current law. According to Kirchhoff current law, algebraic sum of current meeting at this point at a junction is 0. So this is I2, this current is I2, that is written over here. This is I2, and this current is I3, and this current is 4 ampere. According to KCL, algebraic sum of current meeting at a junction is 0. If you are taking the leaving current as positive, leaving current from the node as positive current, and incoming current as negative current. Now let's assign the sign for I2, I3 and this 4 ampere. So leaving current from the node is taken as positive current, plus sign. Incoming current towards this junction or node is taken as negative current. So since I2 is coming towards this junction, it is an incoming current, so its sign is minus I2. And I3 is going away from the node, so it is positive. And this current 4 ampere is coming towards this junction, So it is minus 4. So algebraic sum of current meeting at a junction is 0. So simplifying, we can write down this equation I3 minus I2 is equal to 4 ampere. So this is your equation number 1. Let it be equation number 1. Now we can apply KVL at this first mesh. When we are considering mesh 1, here we assumed current direction in this manner. So this is at higher potential and this is at lower potential, or this is at rising potential and this is at falling potential, and here also at higher potential, lower potential, that is rising potential and falling potential. When we are writing the KVL equation, we can write down in this manner. This is 2, this is minus I1 and this is minus 10 into I1. Two currents are there which is flowing through 10 ohm resistor. I1 is flowing in this direction. Since we are considering mesh 1, our assumed positive direction is downward, but I2 is flowing opposite to that one. So it is minus 10 into I1 minus I2. Total current flowing through 10 ohm resistor based on our assumed positive direction is I1 minus I2, which is equal to 0. Simplifying, we can write down this equation 11 I1 minus 10 I2 is equal to 2. Let it be equation number 2. Now we need to write down KVL at super mesh. Super mesh alone is shown here. So in super mesh, the flow of current is assumed in this way. So this is at higher potential, this is at lower potential, higher potential, lower potential, higher potential and lower potential. Through 10 ohm resistor, the current is I2 minus I1. Through 5 ohm resistor, the current is only I2, this I2 only. And through 15 ohm resistor, the current is only I3. Now we can write down easily KVL equation. This is minus 10 into I2 minus I1, and this is 5 into I2, and this is minus 15 into I3, that is equal to 0. So simplifying, we can write down the equation as 10 I1 minus 15 I2 minus 15 I3 is equal to 0. Let it be equation number 3. So how many variables are there? 3 variables are there. We got 3 equations. We can easily solve 3 unknowns by means of 3 equations. So this equation we can write down. This is equation number 1, 2 and 3. We can write down this equation in matrix form like this. Here we need to find out I1, I2, I3 in order to find out the current flowing through 10 ohm resistor. We know I1 is equal to delta 1 divided by delta, where delta 1 is determinant of this matrix by replacing first column entries with this one, just like this. And the determinant of this matrix is delta. So I1 is obtained as, after solving, I1 is obtained as minus 2.348 ampere. Similarly, I2 is obtained by means of this expression delta 2 divided by delta, where delta 2 is determinant of this matrix by replacing second column entries with these elements as shown here. After simplifying, we can obtain I2 as minus 2.782 ampere. Similar way, we can obtain I3 as 1.217 ampere. So this was our circuit. Here we got I1 as minus 2.348 ampere, I2 as minus 2.782 ampere and I3 as 1.217 ampere. Here we can see that for I1 and I2 there is a minus sign, negative sign. What is the indication of negative sign? Negative sign indicate that actual direction of current is opposite to the assumed direction. So actually the current direction is not in this manner, it is opposite to that one as shown here. So here we need to find out the current flowing through 10 ohm resistor. Current flowing through 10 ohm resistor is I1 minus I2. I1 is obtained as minus 2.348 and I2 is minus 2.782 ampere, which is equal to minus 2.348 minus that become plus 2.72 ampere. Therefore, current flowing through 10 ohm resistor is obtained as 0.434 ampere. I1 and I2 actual direction is this one, and current flowing through 10 ohm resistor is 0.434 ampere, which is downward. So similar to earlier videos, here also you need to do this homework. Here the question is, find the current in the 5 ohm resistor. This is 5 ohm resistor of the network shown below. Here the solution is already given in order to verify your result, that is 4.67 ampere.